welcome back to another video. I'm shooting this inside my van today because the wind here in the Arizona desert is blowing pretty good, and I'm sure you don't want to listen to that on the recording. So, in my last video, I mentioned I was staying at Kartchner Caverns State Park near Benson, Arizona. So I thought I'd do a quick review on that. Normally, I don't stay at organized, developed campgrounds. I prefer boondocking, being out as far in nature with peace and solitude and quiet as is reasonably possible. But sometimes I'm not ideologically opposed to paying for a campground either. But usually when I do, it'll be like a $10 a night county park or something like that. There's been twice this last few months I've stayed at a Arizona State Park because, actually at both times, because I was connecting with family who were coming through and we wanted the services of an organized facility with the little ones and everything. The last time I stayed back in November, I stayed at the Dead Horse Ranch State Park in Cottonwood, and this time I stayed at Kartchner Caverns State Park just outside of Benson. Now, Kartchner Caverns State Park is about 9 miles south of Benson on Highway 90. Real easy to get to, and it's a nice spot. And actually, I've been really impressed with both of the Arizona state parks I've stayed at, and from the reviews I read online, I find similar things that pretty much all their state parks are apparently pretty nice. So if you're staying at Kartchner Caverns State Park, there's a 14-day limit, and it's $30 per night. There are no sites without utilities. All the sites have electric and water hookups on the site. Some are back in and some are pull through, but they all have utilities. The sites all also have fire pits and picnic tables, nice ones. They're in good condition. I even found one across the road from where I was parked that was in a little grove of desert plants, so it was really nice. The facilities at Kartchner Caverns State Park are really quite nice. They're well maintained. All the buildings are nice. Everything's just in good shape. The pavement's good. I was just really impressed. The bathrooms have, toilets, sinks, and showers. They had 2 showers in the men's room. Plenty of hot water. Again, the buildings are well maintained and really clean. Not the kind of place that you're afraid to use the facilities at. So that's worth something right there. So in my case, I think I mentioned this in the last video, I needed to get a bunch of work done. I'm a freelancer, and it was a cloudy day, so my solar wasn't really going to cut it for what I needed to do. So I was able to plug into the electric, take advantage of the showers, and that basically justified the cost of staying there for the night for me. I spent about 24 hours there. Kartchner Caverns State Park is in the middle of some nice scenery, and the campsites are spaced out nicely, a little closer than I would consider to be ideal still, and but I spent a lot of time boondocking. But for a developed campsite, the sites are more spacious than you'll find in many RV parks. There are also some hiking trails, which is nice, several trails. I unfortunately didn't have time to do any hiking or riding while I was there because I was working, trying to get some things done before family arrived. There are also 2 caves at the state park that you can get 8 tours to. They're $23 a piece for the tours, and one takes an hour and a half, and one takes an hour and 45 minutes. So, again, I was busy working and just didn't have time to take advantage of that. But it would have been pretty interesting to see that as well while I was there. So if you're looking for something different to do while you're staying at a park, that's an option with the Kartchner Caverns. So like I said, I don't normally stay at developed campsites, but sometimes it makes the most sense, and this is one of those times. Kartchner Caverns State Park is a nice state park. It's convenient to Benson. Makes it about, 45 minutes maybe from Tucson or so. So if you're in that area, you're looking for a place to stay, you either want some utilities and services, or you just don't mind paying the $30, is definitely worth checking out. You can make online reservations at Kartchner Caverns State Park if you're planning on camping there. That's probably a good idea. You can also call to make reservations, but reservations are a good idea if you know ahead of time when you're going to be there. I was there on a Thursday and into Friday, and it was just about full when I was there, so that's the best way to make sure you're going to get a spot. So I hope this information helps you out if you're in that area and looking for a place to camp, and we'll see you in the next video.